Thanks for joining me today. We are taking a look at the Cadillac XT5. This particular model is the luxury model with a couple of upgrades. We're going to take a look inside, go through the driver area, and make you feel a little more comfortable with your new car. So this vehicle has our keyless access system. Keyless access, this little button here allows us to get in and out of the vehicle while we just leave the keys in our pocket. You may or may not be able to see the little plunger on the video, which is right here. As long as you're nearby with the key, you can lock and unlock using just this button down here. Let's get inside. Just a quick look at the door panel. We have our power locks, memory seating, power folding mirrors on top. Sorry, power mirror switch is on top, power folding mirror switch below, and this is what you'll use to adjust your mirrors. We have express windows up and down in the front, and of course power windows in the back. Just behind the steering wheel, this is our electronic parking brake and our dimmer switch for our interior lights or the dash at nighttime. On the driver's seat, you've got your forwards, backwards, up and down, recline, and your lumbar support. Bose audio system on the door, and back in here underneath the armrest is the power tailgate. So this can be set to the 3/4 amount, which is a programmable amount, as well as on or fully open. Let's hop in and close the door. There, that's a little better. So before I start up the vehicle, just a quick once over on the steering wheel. Starting on the far side, we have our voice activation button, which you can use for your Bluetooth cell phone, voice commands. This is our mute or hang up button. Cruise control, set, resume. This activates the cruise. So if there's this light on your dash or on your instrument panel, that means your cruise control will work. If the light is not there, the cruise control will not work. And if the light is green, you've already set your cruise control and it'll tell you what you have it set to. This is our cancel button. That would allow you to disengage the cruise control and coast. For example, coming up behind a truck or some slower moving traffic. Forward collision alert. Forward collision alert will notify you. This little box here will have red lights show up on the dash. You'll see them when you start the vehicle. If you get too close to a vehicle or a vehicle in front of you slows down a lot faster than you do, the lights will flash on the dash to get you to slow down. Lane keep assist. Lane keep assist will actually keep you sort of between the lines when you're traveling over 60 kilometers an hour. So great feature for the highway. If you lose attention very briefly and happen to drift close to or over the line, the steering wheel will actually nudge you back into your lane. And I live in Canada, so the heated steering wheel, really nice when you spend the winter months here. On the other side, we have our controls for changing our radio station or track if you're listening to music, volume controls, and these 5 switches here are used for your driver information center, which we'll take a look at after we start the vehicle. Through the center console, we'll see our start button, Cadillac user experience, which we'll get to as well, your heating and air conditioning controls, shifter, and some controls for driving mode down here, traction control, as well as your all-wheel drive mode. Under here, a couple of cup holders, which cover up nice and easy. Let's get it started. So now we have the vehicle fully started. I'm going to take a look at the driver information center and the instrument panel here. We have our tachometer, our analog speedometer, and our fuel gauge and temperature on this side. On the bottom, you'll notice there's 3 sections. The outside sections actually carry the exact same information, and the inside section is your main menu. We're going to control that section by using our 5-way switch. over here. If we want to open up a menu, we just want to make it larger than the others. So now we're in the left-hand menu, the center menu, and the right-hand menu. Give you a few things that are in here: our following distance indicator, battery voltage, oil life percentage, tire pressures. There's a blank page, and your vehicle odometer, trip odometer, fuel range, average fuel economy, efficiency gauge. This is really nice if you're trying to obtain optimal fuel efficiency. It will help your driving patterns. Fuel economy stats, compass, what you have your cruise control set to, following distance indicator, I think that's where we started, and battery voltage. In the middle, we have again a compass, our radio information. If you have a phone connected, this is your Bluetooth information, another efficiency guide, fuel economy stats, and options. I'm just going to go into options for a minute. This is where you would switch from miles to kilometers. Most customers really do that once in a while, and they can never remember how to do it. So by pressing select, I'm going to move us up into US, and now the vehicle is in miles per hour. You'll notice even your analog gauge has changed to miles per hour. And over on the Cadillac user experience, your temperature is changed to Fahrenheit instead of Celsius. Going back to metric, so we don't get any speeding tickets in Canada, we've now gone to kilometers. And over here, it's a nice warm day in February, 10 degrees. Right at just above where it says US, you'll notice a small blue backlight. This is where we go back, and it puts us into the previous menu. So we've already adjusted the units. Want to go into info pages. These are things you can turn on and turn off depending on what's important to you. So right now there's one trip odometer selected. I've deselected trip 2. Our fuel range is selected, average fuel economy, driver efficiency, fuel economy, average speed is deselected, as well as timer. Most of those don't get used around here very often for most clients. Our compass is turned on. Turn arrow is part of our turn-by-turn navigation system. I'll turn that back on. You can track your travel time or distance to destination if you would like to see it in the screen instead of on the navigation system. Speed limit and speed warning. Speed warning's turned off right now, but if you tend to have a heavy foot, you can activate the speed warning. I usually in Canada like to set it at a point just above where you're comfortable driving. That way if you get caught up in traffic, you can get notified before the speeding tickets get too expensive. There's our cruise control set to. Following distance, which will give you your following distance in time, 2.1 seconds, 1.8 seconds. Battery voltage, oil life, tire pressure, and a blank page. So if you prefer a very clean looking dash, you can have a blank page, or you're only getting the exact information that you want. I'm going to go back. This controls our favorites buttons. So our favorites buttons are down here, and we can either seek through our radio stations, so just find the next available radio stations, or we can search through our favorites. Once you've got your favorites programmed, this is just going to cycle through and go up and down through your favorite radio stations that you have. This one only has one selected right now, but had we had 4 radio stations, it would cycle through the 4 radio stations that you've already pre-programmed. I'm going to go back, just some information about the software, and then back to the top of the menu. So now we have our options menu. We've selected everything we want. This will tell us our speed limit, how fast the speed limit is posted on the navigation sign, of course how fast we're going. I don't look at battery voltage very often, but I do like to know how far I can go before I run out of fuel. And let's see what we can have over here. We'll use our efficiency guide. That way it can ensure that I'm driving efficiently, make sure I don't run out of fuel, and of course try not to get any speeding tickets. A few other things. Lights are over here. We've got our high beams. If we push it, whoops, that's our turn signal. High beams if we push it forward, and obviously at nighttime you just click it back, then they will turn on and stay on. automatic headlamps is this button on the side here. See if I can get a better picture. There we go. So with the auto high beams turned on, this will leave your high beams on, and when you are approaching traffic or traffic is approaching you, it'll automatically turn your high beams off. Great for visibility and also great for non-annoying drivers around you. On the other side, we have our windshield washer. So our rear wiper is this last little part we can turn, and as we move up, we've got slow, medium, and high, or I should say intermittent, slow, and high. So that gives us a good overview of the driver instrumentation panel. Let's move on over to the Cue system. So this is the Cadillac user experience. If you're familiar with the Cadillac product, they've really simplified things. There's a lot less buttons now, utilizing the touchscreen, and they've gotten rid of those sort of chrome guides. So now you're actually pressing what you want to press. So change your temperature. We're just going to use the toggles here, fan speed. And then across the bottom we have auto. If we'd like to keep the car at a consistent temperature, you'll hear the fan speed right now actually speed up to try and cool off the vehicle. The vehicle's currently warmer than 19 degrees. My particular choice is to be around 21, but you can set your temperature any way you like. Recirculatory air, this is going to keep the air in the vehicle circulating around so you're not taking in pollutants from outside if you're in a heavily polluted area. We can turn our entire climate control system off. We have our front defrost and our rear defrost. I prefer to leave mine in auto, which controls everything for me, and I don't have to think anything about my climate control while I'm driving. There's a lot of videos out there regarding the Cadillac Cue system, but I am just going to quickly go through it. Across the top, I like to call those speed buttons. We have our audio, what we're listening to right now, our phone, if we have a phone connected, our compass, which actually is a active compass. We're currently facing east, and in this particular vehicle it has the navigation upgrade, so this is our full function navigation system. Our climate control, which is the same information we have down here, just in a touchscreen format. And then the last one, this is our Apple CarPlay and Android Auto icon. I will be posting a video shortly where you can take a look at both the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto options and exactly what that'll do for you when you connect your cell phone. Down at the bottom is our home button. This is our main screen. So if you didn't find what you were looking for in the speed buttons, you can access the main screen, audio, phone, projection, which is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, our navigation system, settings, climate control, text messages, and OnStar. Down at the bottom we have a small menu. This is going to pull up our favorites for our radio stations. On the second page, we have traffic if you're subscribed to XM Nav Traffic, and Collection is an app store where you'll be able to download some apps. There's not a lot of apps there right now, but we do anticipate the number of apps to grow over time. In the top corner, we have our temperature. Over here, we have our time of day, and these are our parking sensors, both front and rear. Speaking of parking sensors, we didn't get a chance to look at that while we were using our driver information center. Just going to go into our driver information center and put the vehicle into reverse. Reverse, our backup camera has shown up, and I think I got to move a little bit to get it to show up. Oh, I turned them off, so the parking sensors are not working. Now they are on, and you'll notice you've got sort of sound waves. This is your front and rear parking sensors. I've got two of the lights illuminated on the back driver's side. That means I'm very close to the wall behind me. Nothing illuminated up front. The last lights, there's 4 lights on each of the sections. The last light will take you about 8 inches from whatever you're in front of. So you may feel like you're getting too close. Just keep in mind, if you haven't activated that last light, you've still got about 8 inches left. And back to our Cue system. So starting with the audio, this vehicle has AM, FM, and XM Sirius satellite radio. You'll notice there are no CD players anymore, but it does have a media function. The media function would allow you to access music from your cell phone or from a USB memory stick. I like the direct tune option. If your favorite radio station is XM16, you can go directly to XM16. And now we're listening to the blend. That works on AM and FM. Once you find, works on AM, FM, and of course satellite radio, which I just did. Once you find a station you like, just simply push and hold, and that will program in your satellite radio or AM, FM radio station. Browse will allow us to move through our different satellite radio stations. Right at the top is the view button. A lot of people don't know what this does. Currently we're looking at the station list. If we go, we will now look at the artist list. We want to listen to John Lennon. We'll be able to hear a song by John Lennon. And the next one will give us the actual song of the vehicle, of the name of the song that we are listening to. I'm just going to back out of that. Menu, this is where you'll see tone settings, tune select, category, and Bose Audio Pilot, which will enhance your audio experience while listening to music. Down the bottom is our menu again, if we need to pull that up and see what radio stations we have available to listen to. I'm going to move back, and I'm going to go back to the home screen. Navigation. My favorite feature of the navigation is our one-line address. So we want to enter in a destination, and at the very top, I want to go to 123 Main Street. Can't remember exactly what city it's in, so I'm just going to type in very simply the street number and the street name. It's giving me some difficulty here, looking for a point of interest. If you're looking for a point of interest, okay, search tips. Let's try another address, Talbot. So the vehicle is looking for 123 Talbot, and it looks like nothing's shown up. For some reason, I'm in the POI category. Oh, there we go. Up at the top, I can see POI. We want to look for an address. Now I'll go back to 123 Main. Address. 123 Main. Search. Type in address or point of interest. Well, let's try using our voice.
What type of destination, address, intersection, place of interest, or contact?
Address.
Say the address including city and state, starting with the house number, if available.
640 Wonderland Road, London.
640 Wonderland Road, London. When it is safe to do so, look to the radio display to complete your selection.
So you can see 640 Wonderland Road. There's north and south. We're at 640 Wonderland Road North. If we like, we can save it. So now that is stored in our favorites. And to go, I'm here right now. As you can see, it was 300 meters away. I can hit go and it'll take us over to our front entrance. Down on the bottom, we can move through our radio stations while looking at our navigation system. We can zoom in and out if we need to find out exactly where we are at or get a better view of where we're going. And our menu will allow us to go to and resume to our last entered address, change our navigation voice preferences, show our current location, traffic information, view map, route preferences, display point of interest icons, and then there is some personal data in there as well. I'm going to go back to our home button. Settings. I could spend hours here, and I know we've already spent about 20 minutes together, but this is where we would do our time and date, change our rear seat reminder, which will let you know if you've opened up the back door in the last little bit to either get a person or maybe you've left your purse in the back seat. Language. We've got 3 different languages currently stored on the vehicle. Valet mode will allow you to lock the navigation system, the radio, so that anybody driving your vehicle wouldn't have access to that if you gave somebody else the keys. Vehicle information. This is our climate and air quality, collision systems, This vehicle has different alert types. Currently the beep is set, so when your forward collision alert or your rear parking sensors are activated, the vehicle will beep. We can turn that to a safety alert seat, and the driver's seat will vibrate to get your attention, which is a pretty nice feature. We'll leave that on for now. Front pedestrian alert. This will scan for pedestrians looking to cross your path, and this will alert you if they do cross your path and brake. We can also move it just to the alert only, or we can turn the system completely off. Rear cross traffic is a great feature. If you've ever tried to back out between two minivans or big pickup trucks, you probably notice that you can't see very well. So you just inch yourself out. Rear cross traffic will alert you if somebody is coming from the right or the left, whether it's another vehicle or a pedestrian, to increase your level of awareness. Lane change alert. Lane change alert are these little lights right on the side. It's difficult to see, and I can't get it to active. There it is. So it's a little car and a star. That's going to tell you if somebody's in your blind spot, but also if somebody is rapidly approaching your blind spot, it will alert you. The way it alerts you is it just lights up when someone's in your blind spot or approaching your blind spot rapidly. And if you turn your turn signal on while someone is in your blind spot or approaching your blind spot rapidly, then that light will flash just to try and get your attention a little better. Comfort and convenience features. This is where we get into our memory seats, our auto recall, and our mirrors. Both our passenger mirror and our driver mirror we can program to tilt down when you put the vehicle in reverse. This just makes it a little easier to parallel park, or maybe to see the lines on the ground when you are reversing. Rain sense wipers, they're on when the vehicle is in the intermittent setting. Rain sense wipers will only activate once the windshield starts to become covered with water. The level of how frequently it works is done through your intermittent wiper setting right here. So if you like less debris on the windshield, but you like your automatic wipers, just change that a setting to make it work properly for you. Extended hill start assist or standard hill hold. This is when you're on a steep incline and you move your vehicle or your brake foot from the brake to the gas. When it'll hold the brake just for a little bit so that you don't roll back, which is something pretty nice to have on a steep incline. And it looks like we've gone through the vehicle or the comfort and convenience settings. Down at the bottom, it looks like there's quite a few alerts on this vehicle for our tune select. Tune select, when you find your favorite song, you can tag it in satellite radio, and when the vehicle does, or when that song is playing on any satellite radio station, you will get an alert, and it'll ask you if you want to listen to that song or if you just wanted to dismiss it. And lastly, we're going to go down to our shifter. If you haven't driven an electronic shifter, this is going to seem a little bit unique, but it's very easy to use. I've been driving one for about a month now. This down on the bottom is our shift button. This is what you're going to need in order to change gears. Pushing the side, pulling it back. Now we are into drive. Can even go further back into manual. This will allow me to manually shift through the transmission. And go forward. This is our neutral position. Back to drive. Reverse is up and over. And park is right on top. Speaking of park, there is a nice feature built into the vehicle. If you are not in park, but you unbuckle your seatbelt, open the driver door, and remove your foot off the brake, the vehicle will automatically move into park and activate your electronic emergency brake. Just behind the shifter is our driving modes, traction control and stability control we can turn off. And this is an all-wheel drive, so you can run it in two-wheel drive touring mode, all-wheel drive, and sport mode. So depending on how you want to drive your vehicle or the weather conditions, you can change the way the vehicle drives. So this is just a quick overview of the XT5. I hope you enjoyed everything we had talked about. Almost forgot, OnStar, airbag sensors. This is your garage door opener, which you can program. And then, of course, all of your controls for your sunroof. Nice big panoramic sunroof. And then interior lights when you want them turned on. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Any questions, please comment below. And if you already own one of these, congratulations. It's a great vehicle.